want to ask a couple of questions and discuss your process behind the installation, what it's about and how did you come up with the ideas.
So my name is Danielle Dunis. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce our installation, which is all about emotions and inquiry, which is based on weather. The ideas and the topic selection has been generated and developed through group discussion, and as a result of each pre-service teacher having an interest and passion for catering to the needs of students and each individual's requirements.
So why should we integrate the arts?
Each member believes in the integration of mainstream classroom subjects within the disciplines of the arts, therefore we aim to incorporate art within our daily regimen. Oswell states that the arts have the capacity to engage, inspire, enrich all students by exciting the imagination and encouraging them to reach their creative and expressive potential. Furthermore, Roy, Baker and Hamilton state that the integration of arts and all areas of arts within the curriculum is pivotal in primary education and includes students' comprehension in humanities, science, language, technologies, literacy, numeracy, competency. Therefore, the purpose of this installation is to enable the teachers to utilise ideas and activities from our installation and to produce and incorporate the arts within the classroom to maintain an interdisciplinary approach.
Is the installation site specific?
This installation isn't site specific and it could be easily recreated in any space. We did not focus it on a specific age level either, and as each aspect of the installation can be modified according to the appropriate age level.
Why is the art so important?
Gellinger states that the arts are central to the effective development of empathetic literacy. This is defined as the ability to step into another person's shoes and change your perspective both emotionally, intellectually as well, in order to understand and manage human relationships and also to recognise how they're shaped. The arts enable students to develop a sense of identity and the ability to see the world through others' eyes, to develop the ability to just stand back and appreciate or modify perspectives. And each pre-service teacher has noticed through investigation and research that the arts involve a strong correlation to sensory experiences.
What is your involvement in the group installation or what inspired you to do this?
So my involvement in the arts installation focuses on dance and languages. I was inspired by the work of Diana Green and her book Choreographing from Within. This inspiration is pretty much directly linked to languages, body language and communication through nonverbal cues, and it also evokes and expresses emotion through movement. Green also states that dance uses the body as an instrument and body language can be exaggerated or abstracted in dance to project an infinite number of feelings and subtle moods and emotions, as well as the body telling a story about human feelings. Also with further reading, I found that Cornett discusses an activity called weather dance, and this is where the narrator announces the weather and changes the students, which changes the student's response through height, shape and formation. And the reaction in their own way through movement, emotions and reactions, and that's why I selected it.
So how does your topic link to the curriculum?
So this topic links to the curriculum through emotion and weather, which is directly connected to Oswell's and relating to creating and making dimensions. And this was our overarching idea for each disciplinary area. And in the artistic process, we are making, doing and creating something real and striving to create a realistic experience, and that's essential to learning in a real-world manner. When focusing on dance, this installation related directly to certain elaborations and derived from the Oswell's website. The first elaboration it related to was exploring and improving organising and ideas to make dance sequences using elements of the dance, and exploring movement possibilities in response to stimulus such as imagery, music and shared stories, and that's actually how we found our connections.
Does the installation connect with other areas of the arts?
This section of the installation relates directly to music and the stimulus of human reaction to sound through movement, which made connections to music. Akara also states, which is found in Sinclair and Generett and O'Toole, he also states that when people dance, the interplay of visual, auditory, spatial, temporally and kinesthetic perceptions evokes emotional and cognitive meaning. And this is directly relating to the emotional reaction in the arts and also ties in with our installation.
What is the benefits of dance education for the student?
So Sinclair states that the dance education is supported by neuroscience research, which now affirms much of what dancers already know in their bodies for a long time, that dance movement embodies multimodal feeling, thinking and aesthetic understanding and sensory experience. Dewey also states that movement and dance can elicit a sense of enjoyment and form sudden awareness of elevated self-esteem. which is another benefit for dance. Hannah and Brinson states that through dance, students can achieve connection between their bodies, their emotions, and their mind, whilst learning about themselves and others and their world through the creative expression of their ideas and feelings. Thanks for listening to my individual processing video. Next will be Charlene with visual arts and focusing on mathematics. Thanks.
Thank you, Danny.
What is your involvement in the art installation?
My involvement in the art installation focuses on visual arts with a mathematical focus. When thinking about arts and mathematics, people frequently view each subject as two separate domains. Therefore, there are many benefits of the arts education, and specifically to a child's overall development when the arts is integrated into a mathematical curriculum. Eric Jensen discusses the close connection between mind and emotions and states that there is no separation between the two when looking at art within schools, which connects to what Danielle mentioned about the arts enabling students to develop a sense of identity.
Why is it important to integrate maths into an art curriculum?
When integrating arts into a mathematical curriculum and/or unit of learning, it can assist in developing a student's mathematical understanding of the maths concepts. Akara mentions that when students connect related ideas, represent concepts in a different way, it can build on their understanding. Both mathematics and the arts can be used to observe, describe, and imitate the natural world. Observation and representation of elements support artistic growth, and often children drift away from visual arts if they are not provided with learning experiences. In other words, making and appreciating visual art involves people perceiving it as well as other sensory experiences such as tactile experiences. Studying artwork also allows for children to develop their own artistic thinking or conceptual understanding, thus allowing for development of cultural respect.
You mentioned before that art and maths has benefits. What do you mean?
Scientific studies support an integrated learning environment. In a research paper written by DeLeo, research of the brain demonstrates that learning activities which stimulate both the cognitive and affective areas of the mind are vital towards optimal development. The combined stimulation of these areas increases the amount of neural connections that are present throughout the brain, in effect allowing the brain itself to become more wholly integrated. Learning mathematics and the arts together fosters this whole brain development. There are additional benefits to teaching math and the arts with an integrated fashion. The hands-on nature of teaching art and math in combination helps build bridges between concrete and abstract mathematical ideas.
So as well as brain development, how can it benefit a child's learning?
Moreover, integrating math with art meets the needs of diverse learning styles and multiple intelligences. The pleasant effects of artistic experiences may help kids to enjoy math more or to alleviate math anxiety. Math can be a challenging, disinteresting, scary or unpleasant for kids who struggle with or are less orientated towards mathematics. Integrating the arts into mathematical experiences brings a creative, enjoyable quality to the learning of mathematics and often makes it more comprehensible for those less inclined towards math. When art and maths are integrated together, a student's understanding and appreciation for math will be deepened when it is presented to them in an artistic way. Arts integration seems to be the best form of differentiation out there because it taps into so many different interests and abilities and forms of learning. So thank you all for listening. Now we are going to see how Megan integrated humanities and social science with media arts.
Hi, I'm Megan McIndoe. My focus for our creative arts installation is integrating media arts within the humanities and social science curriculum. I decided to create a stop motion video for my media arts piece. How does my piece link to the curriculum? As previously mentioned, the overall theme for our group was weather, so I decided to focus my part on one particular area of the humanities and social science curriculum, the study of human behaviour and interaction of environmental context. I decided to create a stop motion video that depicted the impact of an extreme environmental event such as a storm or flood can have on human behaviour and emotions. This linked neatly into the curriculum, as through studying humanities and social sciences, students should develop the key skills of being able to solve problems, communicate effectively, make decisions, and adapt to change. A project like this one promotes students building those skills and understanding of the larger effects single events can have on a person or people. The Australian Curriculum for Media Arts states that students need to be able to create media arts pieces that communicate stories or provide information. It also states they need to have a knowledge, skills, thinking processes necessary to create a responsible media arts piece. In order to do this, students need to be taught to recognise what a responsible media arts piece is and how they can use media arts as a tool to be an active citizen in the 21st century. What was my inspiration for the piece? My inspiration really came from wanting to inform people of the ongoing effects of environmental events. It was important for me not to solely focus on the physical factors, the elements of the event itself, the damage caused and the immediate loss, but also the invisible effects on the people or person. The change in emotions, the mental anguish caused. I wanted to recognise that rebuilding doesn't happen immediately and that people can be affected mentally and physically for an extended period of time. When you watch the piece, you can quite clearly see the person's expressions change dramatically to match his or her emotions at the time. I used a close-up effect on this repeatedly as I wanted the viewer to feel empathetic towards the character. Taking the piece in this direction worked really well, as Christina and I were able to work together to create the finished piece. The focus on emotions linked in neatly with the health and physical education curriculum, and the sound she created as her music focus added another dimension to the stop motion. Why should we integrate the arts into humanities and other domains in the curriculum, and why are the media arts so important? At this time in our history as people, the media arts has never been more vital. Pepler 2010 states that with the rise in digital media and technology, children are exposed to increasingly larger amounts of media at a younger age. This is a problem when they are not taught how to process, interpret, and understand what they are viewing. Roy Baker and Hamilton 2012 state that young people are increasingly at risk when using digital technology due to their lack of analysis skills and understanding around how the media arts are created. Media arts are an excellent platform for assisting students to display their content knowledge, and it promotes students forming opinions on social issues. By creating their own media arts pieces, it also provides students with the knowledge and skills of how to analyse and interpret media arts. They can recognise the technical, symbolic, and narrative codes used by authors and apply this knowledge to analyse the meaning behind the piece. Desuan and Raphael 2012 state, it is essential for students to recognise the social and cultural role of media arts communication. They suggest that the only way for students to be truly educated in the media arts is for students to be given opportunities to produce their own pieces and to respond to the pieces of others. Anasty and Bull 2012 state that the media arts provide an alternative pathway to engage students in learning across all domains and has proven incredibly effective for re-engaging disengaged students in learning. It is a platform that allows students to display knowledge in a unique way. It is particularly effective for EAL students, students with higher needs, or students who are struggling. Learning in the media arts provides real-world skills. It exposes students to examples of biases and motives behind media arts pieces and encourages them to question what they see and hear. Roy Baker and Hamilton 2012 emphasised the importance of students learning to analyse media arts effectively, as it is an essential skill. Everyday children are exposed to large volumes of media arts. They will need to decipher immediately and be able to recognise fact from fiction, real or fake, marketing, opinions and context. Thank you.
The creative art that I chose to focus on was music, with my specific learning area being health and physical education. I decided to focus on the link between mental health and music through meditation. With weather being our focus, rather than focusing on musical melodies, I decided to explore sounds of weather and created instruments from recycled materials that recreated these sounds. With much deliberation, it was decided that instead of having my own section or window in our art installation, I felt that it would be more effective if my instruments were to accompany Megan's stop motion art piece. As Megan explained, her focus was how environmental factors like weather affect people, but also how weather affects our emotions. It's for this reason that our two foci linked so well. When we as a group decided that we would be focusing on weather, the first thing that came to my mind was sounds of nature. My inspiration to create these sounds, rather than using a melody or a published score, was from my own personal experience of meditation. My meditation playlist is full of natural and ambient sounds, and I wanted to know more about the mental and physical benefits music and meditation had on one's health. My next step was finding inspiration on how to create these instruments, and I found it in John Madden's work entitled Make Your Own Wacky Instruments. I have come across Madden's work whilst at university in the past, and he proved to be the perfect muse for what I wanted to achieve in this installation. His book demonstrates how to make instruments made out of recycled materials, and this is what I did. Creating my rain stick was fairly simple. It required some sort of cylindrical object. In my case, I found bits of Aggie pipe in our garage that I simply taped together. I then closed one end off with aluminum that I had cut out from a pie pan. Once one end had been sealed, I poured in some lentils that I found in our pantry, which created the perfect sound for rain. I then sealed the other end with a second aluminum cutout. Creating the thunder sheet required very little preparation. I found a metal sheet lying around in our shed, which made a great thundering sound when I shook it. I taped around the edges for safety purposes. I wanted the instrument that represented sunshine to be similar to a glockenspiel, but with the sound of a wind chime. It required constructing a wooden frame with holes drilled into it so as to hang different sized stemmed glasses using some string. My topic links very well to the personal and social capability in the Australian curriculum. By promoting personal and social capability in students' lives, it ensures that their personal, emotional, relational, and social dispositions are nurtured. The aim for music education, as shown in the Australian curriculum, is for students not only to create music, but also to be an audience member and to enjoy and reflect on what they're hearing. The Melbourne Declaration on Educational Goals for Young Australians explain how students should, and I quote, have a sense of self-worth, self-awareness, and personal identity that enables them to manage their emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical well-being. I've been exploring the link between music and health through meditation to help facilitate students' well-being as outlined in the Declaration and the Australian curriculum. Kim Park and Kim explain how meditation is seen as a self-directed approach that is renowned for its mental and physical health benefits. For example, depression is one of the most prominent mental health issues in society today and is even seen in our youth. Eckhart and Dismore explore the use of meditation to address depression as an alternative method to drug therapy, showing positive results. Whilst I've been focusing on meditation, music has also been seen used as a rehabilitation therapy for adults who have suffered some form of brain injury. Ansel talks about a program called the Scrap Metal Concept that engages these adults in music performance using recycled materials in order to integrate them back into the community. This demonstrates how music assists one's mental and physical health by encouraging personal growth and self-expression. Now here is Anne to talk to you about exploring languages through music.
Hey Anne, I'm just wondering, I would like to know your involvement in the installation and your process behind your involvement.
Hi, my name's Anne, and my involvement in the art installation focuses on art and language, which is based on weather. I believe that every human infant is born into a world with two distinct sound systems: linguistic, which is native language, and musical, which is the cultural music. Personally, music for me is a special type of language. We have music to communicate with one another, express our feelings, and to make an impact on someone's life.
Okay, and what's the Australian curriculum of education mention about language?
Learning different languages is strongly encouraged and included in most school systems, especially for a multicultural country like Australia. Being inclusive in learning and knowing different languages other than English is strongly encouraged. This allows young children to have a better access with more working opportunity in the future, a stronger relationship connection, at the same time as maximize children's social interaction. And according to Oswell, language has two different dimensions. So communicating with a language other than English and intercultural knowledge and language awareness is the second one. A crucial teaching element for teachers is to include children with special needs or children who English is their additional language. And one of the most effective ways to include everyone in teaching and learning is to cooperate education and music.
Yeah, and what about music? What has the Australian curriculum discussed about it?
Yeah, also on the other hand, music also plays a significant role in every child's learning and development. Music exists distinctively in every culture and is a basic expression of human experience. Student active participation in music fosters their understanding of other times, places, culture, and context. And through continuous and sequential music learning, students listen to, compose, and perform with increasing depth and complexity. And through performing, composing, and listening to music, students have access to knowledge, skills, and understanding which can be gained in a very unique way. And learning to read and write music in the traditional and graphic forms enables students to access a wide range of music as independent learners. And the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority also states that music has the capacity to engage, inspire, and enrich all students, existing the imagination and encouraging students to reach their creative and expressive potential. A skill and techniques developed through participation in music learning allow students to manipulate, express, and share different sounds as listeners, composers, and performers. And so music learning has a significant impact on cognitive, affective, and motor, social, and personal competence of students.
All right, and what is the relationship between music and language in learning setting?
Oh, it's absolutely a very close relationship between music and language in the learning setting for young children. According to Bazanova, he highlights that music and speeches always occur in an interaction between listener, language, and the situation. Listening and performing music should include the discussion of the role of biological, like age, gender, situational music experience and training, and the style of music, like speeches. The author also discussed the music and speech perception as connection of sensation, cognition, and emotion as well. So music and language literature also represent a wide range of opinion on the nature and accessibility of musical training. A musical meaning is somehow ineffectible, is frequently advanced in both cognitive and social accounts of music and language relationship.
Okay, and what's the music impact on students' learning and development?
Back then, teenagers in the 80s, they have not had many opportunity to express feelings in their own language or their own method. But nowadays, this has significantly changed, and teachers are encouraged to allow children to express their feeling through their own ways. And I think that's very important. According to one of the research, Jim mentioned that many students have experienced music has a powerful impact on their lives. To overcome their shyness, to support them in expressing their feelings, and from across culture and ethnographic perspective, the main position in the musical meaning debate oversimplify the communicational complexity and the interpretive density of real verbal and musical experience. Relationships significantly, which can be representing through the selection and alteration of spoken language in songs, social indexing of gender, authority, age, and class through speeches and song genre. And the role of song language through learning and pedagogy is strongly addressed as well. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the section.
Hi everyone, my name is Han, and today I'll be talking about my involvement in the arts installation, which focuses on drama, with a specific learning area being science. So in this, students get to explore different types of weather, so sunshine, rain and wind, etc., through creating and acting in a group role play. So students will be able to feel and understand how to act out a certain type of weather. There is no right or wrong answer in this case. It's only how they perceive what is right to them. In the play, students will get to explore and understand the growth of a plant. So starting off with a small seed and the process that the seed has to go through to become a plant. So students will learn that the seed requires sunlight, water, tender, loving care to be able to survive. So students will be able to recognise different types of weather and to understand how the weather affects the plants.
So what is the contribution of drama to the child's development? Drama can make a unique contribution to the development of a child. Its purposes and the particular character of its activity provide the means by which the child can achieve and enhance awareness of self and can experience a unique mode of learning. It can give the child the opportunity to approach new knowledge through the dimension of imaginative activity and experience. So it gives the child the opportunity to approach knowledge in the ways that are most suitable to him or her, to create the motivation and interest that can spur the child to research, which foster an attitude that views knowledge as essential in adapting his or her perception of the world. It gives the child the experience of drama as an art form and facilitate the child's imaginative, intellectual, emotional and physical development. It also fosters the child's creativity, invention, insight, discovery and problem-solving skills. It allows the child through the dramatic fiction to experience, understand and practice the life skills that are needed in reality and to promote empathy with the ideas, attitudes and feelings of others. So what are the advantages of drama? The first advantage of using drama in schools is that it allows the students to work together and to share responsibilities for the development of self-actualization, which is the main objective of education and which also continues throughout life. If a student achieves self-actualization, he or she will have the qualities of being realistic, creative, trust, and independent. In drama, students actively engage in situations which make sense to them in terms of their past experiences and their present levels of understanding. Because of this, each drama activity provides them with new experiences. This kind of activity causes self-actualization in a child. Personal or emotional development is the second advantage of using drama in schools. The new idea in education, that is drama, opens up possibilities for free choice and individual decisions. Therefore, it helps the individual to explore many aspects of the world and even his or her own feelings and emotions. If drama is used with learning and teaching experiences in schools, it will help students to develop in the desired ways. Drama will also provide a bridge for the students who understand to become their role in sharing responsibilities with their classmates. What has the Australian curriculum discussed about drama? The Australian curriculum has discussed that drama is the expression and exploration of personal, cultural, and social worlds through the role and situation that engages, entertains, and challenges the students. Students create meaning in drama makers, performers, and audiences as they enjoy and analyse their own and others' stories and points of view. Like all art forms, drama has the ability to engage, inspire, and enrich all students, excite the imagination, and encourage students to reach their creativity and expressive potential. Individually and as a group, students are able to imagine and participate in exploration of their worlds. In drama, students use their body, gesture, movement, voice, and language, taking in roles
taking on roles to explore, to represent real and imagined worlds. They create, rehearse, perform, and respond using the elements and conventions of drama and emerging and existing technologies that are available to them. Students learn to think, move, speak, and act with confidence. In making and staging drama, they learn how to be focused, innovative, and resourceful, and to collaborate and take on responsibilities for drama presentations. So how does the topic link to the curriculum? So as Danny mentioned before, the topic emotions and weather is connected directly to OSVALs, relating to the creating and making dimension. Students explored experiences, ideas, feelings, and understandings through making, interpreting, performing, creating, and presenting. When focusing on drama, the installation related directly to these particular outcomes and elaborations in which students are able to explore their role and dramatic action in dramatic play, improvisation, and process drama. They use their voice, facial expression, movement, and space to imagine an established role and situation. They present that communicates ideas, including stories from the community to an audience.
Hi, I'm Kitty. I focused on drama and English for our group installation. My contribution to the group's installation was the phonics play Between the Two Toys. The play addressed the topic of weather by incorporating that theme into the story, which was about two friends and the looming thunderstorm. This play takes on the TH phonic, and from it stems a range of literacy activities in the classroom. Whilst completing the play, the participants come across the TH phonic in many different words and in different places within these words. My inspiration for the phonics play came from my placement experience with a small literacy group in a reader's theatre type setting. They were a low-level ability group who were hard to engage in written activities. I tried to use this play with them and it worked wonders. My students were engaged and enthusiastic about being involved. They even requested that we did it in front of the class. We assigned 3 students to each character. That way they weren't shy about reading out loud or making mistakes whilst they were reading. After the play, we completed word work activities, like identifying and grouping words that had the TH in the beginning, the middle, and the end. They tried to find other words to fit into these groups afterwards as an extension. Dinham explains Reader's Theatre as a vocal drama experience. Children read the script and they create a dramatic presentation. It focuses on using expressive tones and language to convey characters and emotions of words. It also promotes balanced participation and social skills by taking and waiting for their turn. These plays and scripts can be used as the basis for continued further dramatic play. Most importantly, Reader's Theatre develops diction and pronunciation. The Oswald Learning Focuses for Arts state that performing arts should enable students to communicate ideas, observations, feelings, and experiences. Later, it says that the focus is to communicate concepts from personal experiences and from the world around them. The aim of the English curriculum sounds quite similar in expressing and developing a sense of the English language. They say they do this to evoke feelings, convey information, form ideas, and facilitate interaction with others. The similarities are quite clear, the difference being that they are expressed in different forms: written expression and vocal expression. Dinham explains that drama and literature occupy common ground, which is seen in the use of text and in narrative. It's not hard to see how one relates to the other and the natural flow that comes between using the two in the classroom and, as previously explained, in the curriculum. Clipson Boyles states that drama puts language into action in a way that students can identify with. It brings their reading and writing into context. To quote Dinham, he says, "Drama creates a live but invented world that enlarges our experience of living in our everyday world." Whether the students use characters that are already created for them or ones that their imagination creates, when acting as another person, their perspective changes and they become exposed to an alternative way of thinking. They are able to step into someone else's shoes. This skill is valuable for writing stories, essays, and other forms of literature. It also helps to understand context of books that they may not have experienced yet in their own lives. Drama can also help students make sense of their own learning. Buchanan describes it as reinforcement for the rest of the curriculum. Drama requires participants to be actively involved. It is quite obvious when they are not. Sometimes reading isn't enough though. Seeing it in real time, being acted out, can help students perceive something differently and improve retention of this learning. This is reiterated by Clips and Boyles, who also believes that drama encourages learning, understanding, and memory through active involvement. After all, tell me and I will forget. Show me and I will remember. Involve me and I will understand. Thank you.